You never know how much to cry when you're delivering this kind of news, Devon. Good morning. Tell us who has been hit the hardest then. Who are the biggest losers in the rout we saw, certainly in January and February in markets?
So the biggest loser by far has been Jeff Bezos of Amazon, which is particularly interesting because last year Jeff Bezos was the biggest gainer. He became $30 billion richer, which is an incredible amount of money. But at this rate, he's about to lose that and then some because he's lost $9.8 billion so far.
I've got the Rich Go function up here, which, of course, tells us about these billionaires. And he's at number 7 then, Jeff Bezos. Has he fallen down the rankings, or do they not move much in terms of their relative performance right at the top of this ranking?
You know, he's actually held steady, and well, he's dropped a couple rankings, but generally because everybody's had a pretty bad year, he's stayed relatively static. The interesting thing about Jeff Bezos, again, like I said, he was the biggest gainer last year. At this rate, $9.8 billion, to put that into perspective, that's over $140 million a day that he's lost. So it's pretty sizable. And if you look at someone like Ortega, like he has $3.4 billion, that's significant, but in the context of his almost $70 billion fortune, that's less than 5% of his net worth.
And is there something that the people who've lost a lot have in common? I guess the liquidity of the assets that they own, is that the thing?
Yeah, essentially, people who've really taken a big loss generally have been tied, of course, mostly to the public equity markets, because, of course, that's where you've seen the most volatility and the most negative returns. But you've also, of course, tied to industries as well, like Prince Al-Walid of Saudi Arabia. You don't even see him there on the top 15. He's lost a tremendous amount of wealth. He's also largely tied to a public company, but of course that public company is listed in Saudi Arabia, which is, of course, because of oil, had a really bad start to the year.
Yeah, if you were to think of big names in the energy markets that have really suffered as a result of the rout in energy prices, is he the biggest loser that springs to mind, I suppose?
He would, absolutely, he would be. I mean, if you look at his wealth today, his peak was in May 2014. He's worth 43% less than he was in May 2014. So he's approaching half of his peak net worth in only a couple of years.